Welcome, my dear friends. Today, I will tell you a story that will touch your heart, inspire your spirit, and teach you powerful lessons about life, success, and never giving up. This is the story of a man who was not only an actor, not only a comedian, he was a legend. His name is written in golden letters in cinema history. He made the world laugh, even when he was hiding his own pain. His name was Sir Charles Spencer Chaplin. But you know him better as Charlie Chaplin. No one can ever replace his greatness. His work is forever. His comedy is for all people. His life teaches us about hard work, creativity, and never giving up. Even today, many years later, he lives in our hearts. His films still bring smiles. His struggles still give hope. And his story shows us that no matter how hard life is, we must keep going. This is not only a story, it is a journey of pain, rejection, hunger, success, and greatness. Stay with me until the end because this story will help your English learning and inspire you more than ever. Are you ready? Let's start. Charlie Chaplin was born in London, England, on April 16, 1889. His parents, Hannah Chaplin and Charles Chaplin Sr., were both stage performers. They sang, acted, and entertained people. But young Charlie's life was not easy. His father was an alcoholic. He drank too much and left the family when Charlie was just a small boy. His mother, Hannah, was left alone to raise Charlie and his older half-brother, Sidney. Life was very hard for them. They lived in deep poverty. Many nights there was no food. Many times Charlie went to bed hungry. Sometimes his mother pretended to eat just so her children could have a little more. They moved from one small dirty room to another. They lived in fear of being thrown out. But Charlie was still a child, and children can still smile, even in pain. Charlie's mother was a talented singer and actress. She performed on stage, hoping to earn enough to feed her kids. Charlie loved watching her. He dreamed of one day standing in front of an audience. But fate was cruel. One night, while she was performing, Hannah lost her voice. She tried to sing, but could not. The angry crowd shouted and threw things. They wanted her off the stage. And then something amazing happened. A small boy, only 5 years old, walked onto the stage. Charlie. He sang, he danced. The crowd laughed and clapped. They loved him. This was Charlie's first performance, the first time he felt the joy of making people laugh. Deep inside, he knew, this is what I was born to do. But life was not kind. Years of poverty broke Hannah's health. She lost her mind and was sent to a hospital for mental illness. Charlie and Sidney were left alone. No parents, no money, nowhere to go. They became street children, hungry, cold, and lost. Imagine a little boy walking the streets, looking for food in trash cans. That was Charlie. But he did not give up. He did not lose hope. He had a dream, and this was only the beginning. Charlie was now a poor, abandoned boy in London. He had no home, no family to care for him, and no money. He and Sidney were sent to workhouses, terrible places where poor people worked for food and shelter. These places were cold and cruel. Charlie was just 7 when he entered a workhouse. Imagine a small child forced into hard labor. He was even separated from Sidney. When he returned to his mother, she was worse. Her mind was gone. Sometimes she didn't even know Charlie. Charlie watched as doctors took her to a mental hospital. He cried, but he was helpless. She was gone. Charlie was truly alone, but he still had his dream. To perform, to make people laugh, to be on stage. So he worked. Even as a child, he found small jobs, washing dishes, selling newspapers, making toys. But his heart was always on the stage. One day he saw street performers making people laugh. He felt this was his chance. He joined them. He danced, sang, and did small comedy acts. At first, no one cared. People ignored him. But Charlie didn't stop. He kept trying. He studied other comedians. He learned timing, expressions, and movements. Slowly, people began to notice. They stopped to watch. They laughed. For the first time, Charlie felt power. The power to bring joy. At 14, Charlie got a big chance. He joined a theater group called the 8 Lancashire Lads. He was just a small part of it, but it was a start. He worked harder than anyone. He learned fast. His talent was clear. A director saw him and said, "This boy is special." Charlie was given bigger roles. At 16, he acted in a play called Sherlock Holmes. He was now performing in real theaters. People loved him. Directors noticed his gift, his ability to make people feel emotions without speaking. And soon, his life changed forever. In 1910, Charlie was invited to America with a famous comedy troupe called Fred Karno's Company. America was the land of dreams. Charlie crossed the ocean to chase his future. When Charlie reached America, everything looked new. The roads were wider, the people were louder, and the energy felt alive. Most importantly, Hollywood was here. Charlie thought, "This is my place. This is where I will become famous." In 1913, a film company called Keystone Studios saw Charlie. They gave him a small part in a silent film. It was not a big role, but Charlie saw a chance. He wanted to make something special, something people would always remember. So, he created a character, a small man in big clothes, a tight coat, a funny little hat, a tiny mustache, and a strange walk that looked like a waddle. This funny man later became one of the most famous characters in movie history. At first, people did not understand him, but when Charlie acted, when he moved and made people laugh without saying one word, the world loved it. His films became popular very fast. Producers asked him to make more. Studios offered him big money. In only a few years, the poor boy from London became the most famous actor in the world. By 1917, Charlie Chaplin was more than famous. He was a global star. People waited in long lines to see his films. His face appeared on posters, newspapers, and magazines. He was loved in every country, in every language, by every culture. And his journey was just starting. But behind all the fame and joy, Charlie was still the same boy, the boy who once went hungry on the streets, the boy who cried for his sick mother, the boy who never gave up. Charlie Chaplin had finally reached success. The poor child from London was now the biggest movie star in the world. He was not only known, he was loved. Millions watched his films. They laughed, they cried, they cheered. Still, Charlie knew this was only the beginning. He wanted more than acting. He wanted to control the stories, the direction, the music, and the feelings. He wanted to make movies in his own way. But Hollywood did not like that. At that time, studios controlled actors. They decided what movies to make and how actors should act. But Charlie was different. He said, "No one will control me. I will make films my way." So in 1918, he surprised everyone. He built his own studio, Chaplin Studios. Now he was the boss. He could make anything he wanted. This changed the movie world forever. Then in 1921, he made a film that became one of the greatest movies ever. It was called The Kid. It was not only funny, it was personal. It told the story of a poor man and a little orphan boy. A story about hunger, pain, and love. It made people laugh and also made them cry. The world adored it. At that moment, Charlie realized movies were not just for fun. They had power. They could touch hearts and change lives. And he wanted to use films to make the world better. With each movie, Charlie became stronger. Hollywood had never seen anyone like him. While other actors earned $10 a week, Charlie was earning $1 million for a single movie. He became the richest and most powerful actor alive, but he never forgot where he came from. He remembered the nights when he had no food. He remembered his mother, alone in a hospital. So even with success, he worked harder than anyone else. He could spend months, or even years, making one movie. Every joke, every movement, every detail was planned carefully. Because Charlie did not want just to make films, he wanted to make history. Then, he did something no one expected. In the late 1920s, movies with sound arrived. Now actors could speak on screen. Silent films started to disappear. People told Charlie, "Forget silent films. Make talking movies." But Charlie said no. He believed movies did not need words. He thought emotions were stronger than speech. In 1931, when the world thought silent films were gone, he released City Lights. It was beautiful, funny, and very emotional. Even without words, people cried. The last scene, where Charlie's character meets a blind girl, became one of the most famous moments in film history. Even today, many call it the best silent movie ever. With this film, Charlie proved that feelings speak louder than words. By the late 1930s, the world was changing again. Adolf Hitler was rising in Germany, spreading hate and war. Charlie noticed something strange. Hitler had the same little mustache as him. People joked about the similarity. So Charlie decided to fight back with comedy. In 1940, he made The Great Dictator. It was his first movie with sound, and it was more than just a comedy. It carried a message to the whole world. In the last scene, Charlie gave a speech, one of the most powerful ever filmed. He said, "We think too much and feel too little. More than machines, we need kindness. Let us fight for a world of reason. Let us fight for freedom." The world listened. His speech became famous. Even today, millions still watch it. It proved Charlie was not just a funny man. He was also a fighter, a voice for ordinary people. But Hollywood was not happy. Charlie had too much power and too much freedom. Many people also disliked his strong political ideas. They turned against him. They blamed him for things he never did. They told lies about him. And in 1952, they pushed him out of America. The country he helped build in movies forced him to leave. Sad and broken, Charlie went to live in Switzerland. He stopped making films and lived quietly with his family. But the world did not forget him. In 1972, after 20 years, Hollywood changed its mind. They asked Charlie to return. At the Oscars, people gave him the longest applause ever, 12 minutes without stopping. Charlie had won. He was no longer just an actor. He was a legend. His life teaches one strong lesson: never give up. No matter how poor you are, no matter how many people fight against you, no matter how hard life becomes, if you have a dream, protect it. Charlie was once a poor boy without food, but later he became the most loved man in the world. Still, his personal life was not easy. Behind his fame, he faced many struggles. Friends betrayed him. Governments attacked him. And even after his death, something shocking happened. Now we will share his love life, his biggest pains, his last years in Switzerland, and the strange story of how thieves even stole his body. Charlie Chaplin was a genius in art, but in love, his life was full of problems. He fell in love quickly, and his romances often ended with sadness and fights. He married 4 times. The first 3 marriages failed. The women left him, took his money, and sometimes even went to court against him. People said, Charlie can make the world laugh, but he cannot find joy in love. But things later changed. In 1943, Charlie was 54 when he met Una O'Neill. She was only 18. People said, "She is too young," but Charlie did not care. For the first time, he felt real love. Una became his strongest support. When the world turned its back on him, she stood beside him. She became his wife, his friend, his everything. They stayed together until he died. And even with their age gap, they were truly happy. They had 8 children together. For the first time, Charlie had a real family. With them, he spent his last years. For 25 years, he lived in a big house in Switzerland. Life was quiet and peaceful. He spent time reading, writing, and playing with his children. He liked to walk in his garden and think about his past. Sometimes he watched his old movies and laughed again. Even far from Hollywood, the world remembered him. Fans everywhere still loved him. On December 25, 1977, sad news spread across the world. Charlie Chaplin had died in his sleep. He was 88 years old. It was Christmas Day. The man who had made billions of people laugh was gone. People cried in every country. Newspapers wrote, "The world has lost its greatest comedian." But then, something unbelievable happened. 3 months after his death, thieves broke into his grave. They dug up his coffin and stole his body. Yes, Charlie's body was kidnapped. The criminals wanted money. They asked his family for $600,000. But Una refused. She said, Charlie would have laughed at this. For weeks, the world was shocked. No one knew where Charlie's body was. After a huge police search, the thieves were found. They were 2 poor men from Eastern Europe. They had stolen the body because they wanted money. At last, the body was returned. His family buried him again, this time in a strong grave covered with cement, so no one could steal him again. Even though Charlie died in 1977, he still lives on. Every time we laugh, he is with us. Every time we enjoy a great film, his spirit is there. He showed the world that life is not only about money, fame, or power. Life is about love, laughter, and never giving up. Even when he was poor, he never lost hope. Even when people attacked him, he never stopped. Charlie Chaplin is more than a name. He is a feeling. He's the greatest comedian ever, and his story will inspire people forever. So remember this. If Charlie could do it, you can too. Believe in your dream. Work hard. One day, your story can inspire others. Charlie's life story is finished, but his ideas, his films, and his lessons will never die. If you loved his journey, share it with others, because his message must stay alive. And never forget his most famous words. A day without laughter is a day wasted. Thank you, Charlie. The world will always remember you.